Hi everyone.
Hi and welcome.
In this conversation, this video, we would like to invite Goddess Kali to answer some of our questions. Dushala, would you like to say something about Goddess Kali?
You know what, Thomas? I think I'm going to leave Goddess Kali to speak for herself and to tell us all about who she is.
Wonderful. So let's get started.
Yeah, let's do it. I hope you enjoy our conversation.
Greetings. I am Kali, Goddess Kali. I come at your call to communicate, to share my wisdom. And I hope that this conversation helps to clear my reputation and helps to establish much more respectful relationship between me and whomever calls for me or speaks of me. I wish to be known as a loving goddess and not what you may have heard or believed even into. I wish to be known as a divine aspect of the great spirit of one infinite creator, the goddess energy. So, where would you like to start?
I'd like to start by saying a very warm welcome, Goddess Kali. We are very honored to have you in the sacred space with us. So many people know your name and they think they know who you are and what you stand for. And a lot of people do associate Goddess Kali with destruction. So I think it would be wonderful if you could start this conversation by sharing some information about yourself, please.
It is my pleasure. So, I'll start with sharing a bit of my story. Not too long, not too deep, just to give you a perspective.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Myself, the one being that lived amongst you a long, long ago. I lived amongst the people. I was one of you, if you can say that. It was a different time, very different time than it is now. The miracles and the greatness was you would say, common ground. Now it's just myths and legends. In those times, I lived as a woman, and from the very early age, I was being challenged challenged by all the, well, mostly men, restricting me, telling me what is supposed to be done, what is the good behavior, and trying to, well, control me. I'm not saying this in a judgment. That was where they were. But I could not, and I have been troubled. On one side, I wanted to fulfill that request. But on the other hand, I could feel the restriction that was being embarked upon me. I did not like that. That was the common overall picture. Now, there has been upsurgence, what you can call a negative force, and that negative force saw my light and wanted to play. Oh, well, it was very difficult and abusive force that tried to control and create illusions of what is truth and what is not of truth. Tell me what I should be doing in horrible, horrible things, which would I never do. And this energy, this force, was very, well, in human terms you would say egocentric, and very confident that it could achieve whatever it intended to achieve. It was not connected directly with your human consciousness. It was like an external entity. The experience was strongly unpleasant. But there was a time in which I decided, and this was a break point, a breaking point for me. This was enough. I had enough of that. I could not continue with the same abusive, controlling entity trying to dominate me, trying to tell me what I should be doing, and trying to put me in such difficult situations. No. In that declaration, and it was a bit more gradual process, it was not immediate, but it was quite fast. With my decision to step into, I would say, the hands of God, to surrender to the greater force, I got filled with such loving energy, supporting me, guiding me, protecting me, helping me all throughout. And with this loving presence, I could face this abusive entity directly and say no. It was enough. Well, as I've mentioned, the behavior, the no was not taken as an answer. So there was a upsurgence of attempts to attack me. In a spiritual sense, it was very uncomfortable. But as I held the presence of the source within my being, I endured and I kept my center. Then I expressed my love. I expressed the love of the Creator through me. It sent waves and ripples of light towards that dark being, towards that entity. And this being was shocked, unexpected, any resistance, let alone any retaliation. This was not a retaliation. This was an extension of Creator to that entity to realize what is the core of its being. Well, the experience for this entity was not pleasant. And it tried to leave. But with that abuse, I continued the flow, and it followed everywhere. There was no place that this entity could leave. It was a transformative wave of energy that helped, cleared, transmuted, and transcended the limitations and the, well, I would say, the drama and control, the abusive behavior in this entity. It cleared all of that. This entity was not acting on its own. There was a greater, I would say, there were much more of these beings, these entities. And when they saw and perceived what happened, well, they tried to support. They tried to continue pursuit of control and overshadowing me. And as you have probably heard, this could not be. I continue to expand and express the love from within me, the light from the Creator. And this presence expunged all the forces that tried to be in this conflict. There was no fight. There was no destruction. It was shattering away the illusions and the destructive patterns. It was freeing the purity of those beings, the core of those beings, to be free of that burden, to free of that low consciousness. They were elevated and changed. That was the story in a nutshell. So, with that embodiment of the Creator love and light, I've earned the name of Kali.
Okay. Goddess Kali, so thank you so much for sharing that with us. So can I just ask you maybe to just fill in that little gap then for us? So you were in human incarnation. So what was that bridge then that where you then were given a title of goddess Kali? Could you maybe just fill in that gap for us, please?
I fulfilled my mission in allowing the embodiment of Creator within me. It was that simple. And that earned me the new name, the name that has been echoed throughout. You can call it I've ascended. And in a way, it is an ascension. It is realignment with one true self. That was the process. It was quite rapid compared to the years upon years that you have been experiencing. But the main role, as I said, the simplicity, just allowing the embodiment of Creator.
Okay. So that's similar to Ascended Masters and similar to the experience of Lord Jesus, for example.
Exactly.
Okay.
I would say there is little to no difference.
All right, wonderful. So, Goddess Kali, can I ask you, your energy is available for people on Earth at the moment, or obviously has, I think, always been available. So my question would be, how do people connect with you, and what is your main focus for being very present on Earth at the moment?
Well, I've shared the journey with you, as I've said a long time ago. I have, well, the compassion for all the people, for I was in your shoes, and because there is such a need for what I've expressed as the activities and expressions of the love of the Creator in my life, with what you are dealing now, with all that is undercover, shadows, and hidden, and now surfacing. There is a tremendous need for clearing, a tremendous need to stay within yourself, to stay present in your power, in your might, in your divine self, in the presence of Creator. That is what I bring, and that is what is needed, and that is what many of you are experiencing. So yes, this is the goal.
Okay, so if I can maybe just say that in my own words, so it would be for us to connect with you basically just by calling out your name and invoking your presence within us, which helps us in turn to connect with our own divine energy, source energy, creator energy, God energy within us, which then helps with clearing any negative energies that may be around us and to help us to transform that into more light and into more positive energies. Is that right?
Precisely. You are very correct. I just wish to add one more thing to that.
Okay.
And this is where you, as humanity, step into your roles. I act upon asking, and, well, sometimes I extend myself, but never in a way that would overpower or it would overturn one's will. That is not my way. And that is not the way of the divine anyone on this side. We fully respect and act upon your desires, wishes, and decisions. We also, in that manner, do not overtake the responsibilities and actions that you are meant to do in order to achieve that elevated position. It is your journey, it is your path, collectively and individually, and me and everyone on this side gladly come and support you along the journey. We will walk with you, we'll carry you at the times of need, but the joy of the journey is yours. We would not choose to overtake you. This is not who we are. We do not also, because you are stepping in your authority, in your power, we do not do things for you. We do it with you. And I wanted to, well, point this out. For many have lived in disempowerment for ages. And this has seeped into your overall consciousness. If you want to be free and express yourself fully, you will walk the path. It's that simple.
Thank you for sharing that, Goddess Kali. So obviously it has to do with free will because we do live on a free will planet. So we've got to take that action in terms of our own will. So you obviously, well, there are boundaries and you don't cross those lines. So thank you for that. And your encouragement to everyone now is for us to step into our power, to become self-empowered, and to tap into our own divine authority. So thank you for that. So my last question, there is tremendous imbalance at the moment in terms of masculine and feminine energies. It is getting better, but there's still a long way to go. We have to do a lot of work. There's a lot of gender-based violence, for example. So could you please give us some guidance in terms of helping us just to rebalance that process of masculine and feminine energies within each of us, because I know the energies exist within each of us, but then also within uh, humanity, within different people in society as well. Could you please give us some guidance on that?
Well, I would look upon your children and make them your example. That's the simplest guidance because they offer such a variety of expressions that you have and you have shoved aside. They don't distinguish if they are boy or girl. They play together. As they may have preferences for toys, as all of us do, all the beings. That's okay. The gender is not a barrier. A gender is not an obstruction. And gender is not something that you should look and judge. And that's what you are doing. I mean, you as collectively. And the judgments are sometimes subtle, sometimes not so subtle. What men should be doing. And this is the same old which I have experienced. So that's why I'm here, because I've dealt with that. We need to take care of that, to get rid of all the nonsense about who's supposed to be doing what is the role of whom. Children play from their heart. They are in the joy. They express themselves fully and they are in the presence. That's the goal. So for you to distinguish males and females, masculine and feminine energies, it is okay to understand that. It is okay to understand the differences, but not in a way that would create additional boundaries. Even the movements that deem to create equality by overall promoting and suppressing the other is not equality. the movement to bring the feminine, and you know the group at which I talk about, and suppressing everything that is masculine is not a balance. This is not the way. The judgments are so deeply seeped in and ingrained that often you don't even recognize them. So that's why I tell you, look into your children. They are not yet in that judgment. They carry both together in perfect balance with who they are.
Okay. Thank you so much, Goddess Kali. It is about the journey home within our hearts to divinity, to oneness, to unity. Thank you. So I think, Goddess Kali, I think we will wrap it up there. So I would like to say thank you so very much for coming through and sharing your wisdom with us. And I would like to just give you an opportunity as well in closing for you to express and share anything else that you would like to. Thank you.
And thank you for this opportunity to be present and to give myself a different way of how I am being presented. How am I being seen? How am I being addressed? And thankfully, how am I being called for support? How am I being called just to be present and appreciated? And for that, I thank you. You know my name. You can call it, you can sing it, or you can just silently wish for me to be there. I don't need to purge anything. Yes, that's what I'm good at, but I can be just present with you. So thank you again, and farewell for now.
Thank you, Goddess Kali. Farewell and namaste.